Welcome everybody. Elijah Markham here. Welcome to the page. Welcome to the channel. Today we are going to talk about Novatech. All right. Yes, you heard it here. Novatech. I'm just an investor. I am not a part of the actual organization as far as executives, officers, none of that. I've just been hearing tons of fake news, tons of scam alerts, tons of voices out there. And with my background, having almost a decade of experience in the financial industry, I just wanted to try to give a objective viewpoint, as objective as I can be, on Novatech. Okay, so like I said, I'm just a personal investor. I've been with Novatech for about a year now. It was May of last year, 2022. And it was brought to me from somebody who I trust, very close with. And he was like, hey man, you know, the Novatech can give you about 3% a week, every single week. And they've been doing that for the last 3.5 years, ever since they've been in business. So of course, initially that raised some eyebrows. I'm heavily in the stock market, crypto market. You know, I was investing very heavily at the time. And the market, as we all know, was crashing because of the pandemic. So I thought that was a great way to sort of supplement some of these losses I was incurring in the stock market for the long term. So, you know, I didn't think the guy would actually, you know, lie to me because, like I said, I know him. He's a trustworthy guy. So I put a little bit in at first, about $5,000. And that was in May. So for a couple of weeks, I'm seeing 3%, 2%, 4%. So after I saw every single week I got a payout, I was reinvesting, but it was working. It was working way better than anything else that I've ever seen before. So, you know, at that point, I put another 7,000 in. So I'm 12,000, 13,000 in at this point. And I just let it ride. I'm just letting it ride. And it was working so well, you know, I started talking about it. I started telling people about it. You know, I got my girlfriend in, her mother joined, a couple of my family members joined, as well as some friends from college. I got into it. And like I said, it was great. When I needed to pull some money out, things were tight. You know, I needed some money for, you know, rent or just whatever I needed the money for. It was working really well. I was able to pull from both my trading account and my bonus account. And it didn't really start having, I guess, hiccups or issues or whatever you want to call it for Novatech until about December of 2022. Now, again, I'm not a financial advisor. I don't work for Novatech. I'm just an investor like you guys. And I heard that, and it's actually come out as news at this point, but they had to cease all operations in Canada and California. Okay. California actually issued a cease and desist order. And I believe the PAM accounts, the specific account that Novatech uses for its trading, is not allowed in Canada. Right. So to my understanding, everybody who was a part of Novatech actually got their money back, which to me is a good thing, because there's a lot of new news coming out about America. Okay, so whoever is already in Novatech is grandfathered in, but they're not allowing anybody else to join Novatech. And they're no longer allowing you, if you're in America, to go ahead and add more money into your account. Okay, so in my mind, you know, they had to liquidate a lot of assets. Okay, liquidating assets is huge because if you're an investor, you know, that should be a good sign that the company had enough assets to go ahead and pay all of Canada and all of California for everybody who was invested. So I think that's a pretty good sign. Also, they had us basically have a waiting period from December to April, and they said that they were going to make some changes, which we all are aware of the changes. Only certain days you can do withdrawals from your bonus account, which are Mondays. Only certain days you can withdraw from your trading account, which is the 1st to the 5th of every month. And now they're not allowing you to do the full withdrawal of your trading account. So, I thought there was a good sign because I saw Novatech putting parameters in place. They're trying to recover. I'm hearing a lot of people talk about it's a scam, but in my heart of hearts, I don't believe it was a scam. They were literally doing what nobody else was able to do. Pay for 3.5 going on 4 years consistently, 3% a week. Okay. Personally, for me, it just didn't feel like a scam. It was once the liquidation started happening, once Novatech became a lot more publicized, a lot more eyes were on it. It got the attention of governments. The government has really been trying to put their hand in the mix of this crypto space. They don't give you a 1099 how Robinhood, TD Ameritrade, these other trading platforms do. So they don't like the fact that they can't tax us. Okay, so the government is really upset and trying to regulate cryptocurrency as a whole, not just Novatech. And what they were able to do for people in Novatech, especially if you got in early, I was, on the tail end of seeing, some true gains. But I don't know if everybody understands what happens with liquidation. During the Great Depression, 1920s, banks went under. Over 9,000 banks went under. And that was because everybody ran to the banks to pull their money out. They felt it was no longer safe. That's actually why the FDIC was created. Okay, the FDIC insures people's money up to $250,000. They actually had to create a rule, an insurance for the banks to help the American people feel more confident to put their money back into these accounts. So just follow me here, okay? Novatech is basically a financial institution. Banks are financial institutions, and banks use what's called fractional reserve lending, okay? They basically can take your dollar and loan it out over 9 different times, and they get paid on the way that they lend that money. So they can lend it out in forms of credit cards, auto loans, personal loans, mortgages, just a lot of different ways. So you deposit $1, they can go out and create $9 off of it. So that money that you see is not necessarily the money that's there. So when you look at your statement on the bank, okay, banking app, on the computer, wherever you're looking at your statement in the bank, they don't have a separate vault just for you. Your money is always flowing. And if you wanted to go ahead and withdraw all of your money, if you have $100,000, the bank may say, you have to wait a couple of days because we don't have that. That's the same thing with Novatech. They are using our money in a PAM account, which we all should have known. And they are using that to create more money. And what happens with liquidation, when everybody takes their money out at the same time, just like what happened in 1920s, that industry collapses. So I think that is why Novatech, in my opinion, has been silent. Do I appreciate or personally like the leadership that's been shown at Novatech? No. I think they could be a lot more clear. I think they could also be helpful in hushing a lot of the noise around them if we heard from Cynthia or Eddie more often. The Telegram group just went down. They said that this is no longer an official page, which makes me question how long was that even ever official page. But what I think that they're trying to do, I do again think that they have parameters in place to go ahead and try to limit the liquidation so they can continue to grow and do what they were doing. I heard on Bank of Gerald's page, he had an interview with DAP, and he was saying another thing is that they were getting a lot of people coming in, and that was also helping, the returns that we were able to see, because they were always getting a new stimulus or a stimulus of funds. So if their trading was bad in a week, they would be able to go ahead and still pay us 3%. Now, without that stimulus of new people being able to join from America specifically, we're relying on the traders 100%. Now we really get to see if the traders are as good as we thought they were. I know some people are upset about the 0.03%, 0.01% the last 2 weeks that we've gotten. I do think a little bit it's a slap in the face. I see what they're doing. You know, they want to let you know, hey, we are still active. We're not just gone. We're not just disappearing. Okay, we didn't just disappear. Yeah, it may not be what you want. I think it is sort of for their sake to say, hey, we still are giving you a profit. And that's really what I want a lot of people to remember. You know, when I got into this, I was like, hey, this is way better than a bank. Where can you go, put your money in, and even if you make a quarter a week, you don't make that at a bank. So as an alternative, I do think it's great. They did get rid of some of the benefits of Novatech. Being able to withdraw, that liquidation was huge for me, because if I needed it for an investment opportunity, I'm always into some sort of investment, whether that's stocks, cryptos, vending machines. I'm always looking for, you know, the next thing to sort of build with, for my financial independence. So, you know, that did hurt. But at the same time, the $6 that I got 1 week, you know, the $1 that I got another week, it's better than some alternatives. So I've gotten to this crossroads personally with Novatech, which is why I'm bringing this, you know, to you guys. On one hand, I have to really start thinking, what does life look like without Novatech? Because I got comfortable with Novatech. You know, it was helping pay rent. You know, I didn't even necessarily have to pay rent anymore. It was a really nice tool. So I just want to start realizing what does life look like, and it's really looked like, you know, the last couple months for me. Also, I think it is still good. It's a good sign to see that people did get paid, if that's true, from Canada and California. If we can go ahead and get at least our initial investments back, I think that's a sign of hope for if they did happen to shut it down in America. But all we really can do is just hope, pray, wait, hold on to whatever faith you have. And with me being in the financial industry, what I tell everybody, and it's not something that you want to hear, but it's the truth. You need to only invest what you're able to lose. It's something I always say. And I actually hopped on some of these Zoom calls on Novatech, and they would get frustrated with me because I would hear them say, hey, this could be your retirement plan. This could be your 401k. This can be this, you know, put your money here. And I didn't like the fact that they were trying to sell a dream that was not guaranteed. So I would actually go back and forth with them. But, you know, that's why you need to do your own due diligence. You know, you need to make sure that you're comfortable with whatever you put in. Hopefully this can be a learning lesson for some. Do I think it's over? No. I do still see signs of life. I think they're quiet for a reason, trying to figure out what the next step is. And like I said, they are still showing activity, whether that's even just $1 or $6. They could have gone 3 weeks, you know, 3 weeks without paying us anything. They could have shut down the website. What could we do? It's crypto. So, you know, if you are invested, there's a quote by a man, a great man who passed away, but he said, both faith and fear require belief in the unknown. Why ever choose fear? I think that we should put some positive energy towards Novatech. Start silencing the haters, because whatever you feed will grow. If that's the only thing that you're reading into, then that energy is going to grow. So again, we have to look at it objectively. And from what I see, I believe that at the very least, we would get our initial investments back, because that's what happened with California and Canada. But just wanted to give you another taste of what will be on this channel. Today was going to be Novatech. Tomorrow could be something else. But for all of my people who are in Novatech, let me know, what do you think about this video? What are your thoughts? I definitely want to hear from all of you. But thank you for tuning in, and let's grow together. See you guys soon.